So this is me, Reese, as a super blogger in South London in a studio flat. And when I say a studio flat, I mean it's a studio flat where the Obedience Project was born. Yeah? And when I say the Obedience Project, I'm going to introduce you to a man called Michael Snaith. Is very, very, very unrecognized in the London culture. And the culture, what I say, we're talking about music, we're talking about groups, we're talking about instruments, and we're talking about beautiful things that have happened. But unlike most people that interview people, they don't really go in. So Reese, the super blogger, I'm going to go in. So let's speak to the man behind all of this creation.
Yes, good afternoon. I'm Michael Snaith from the Obedience Project, set code 927. Word up! You can check me out on the website www.topprojects.co.uk. Yeah, and I've toured the world for 7 years in the early 80s, 90s. And we've done Marvin Gaye tributes. We actually flown into Glastonbury and headlined 3 times. And done many things like support Winston Marsalis, many other things, and through that time I've become independent and done independent music.
So what I wanted to ask you, on your biggest journey across your musical empire, what was a time that you can remember where you can celebrate and say, that felt really good?
Celebrating what as a solo artist or
as a solo artist? Yeah.
Do you know what it is? You see, when you're with a band, or if you've been with a band, when you do become a solo artist, you can do well if you've been supported or if you get support, but sometimes you don't always get the support that you would like. So by achieving the things that you set your goals to achieve and do, so what it is, I've achieved most of my goals and still learning. So, basically, how can I say? I've created a record label, which now you can, many people can download their music from different downloading systems. So, yeah.
So tell me a bit about the Obedience Project and what it entails and the detail behind your creativity, because I've seen on the website, and I've obviously seen on certain websites where you've appeared as all these different people. But one thing we can be sure of, you are definitely leader of fashion. So explain to me a bit about the Obedience Project.
Well, the Obedience Project, it's actually like a college. It's a form of a college. It's an NVQ in level 3 and 4. So it's. So basically it's about music, fashion, and it's about arts and promotion, and also it's about being creative and being able to be accessible to creating revenues and creating opportunities. So yeah, it has music and stuff like that and fashion, but it also has a more education side to it.
Okay, so that is one of the insights. There's so many different sides to the Obedience Project, and there's so many sides to you, Mike. So really, what I want to ask you, one of the greatest questions, especially for me when I was in the studio with you and the stuff that we've done, is how did it all begin?
Well, it all began while I was touring the world. So I was with a band called Galliano, it's Talking Loud. And so there's a period in your life is that when you're with a band and you're doing you're playing a certain role, but then it's like you want to take that role further. And then what it is, you sometimes get people that hold you back or try to hold you back. So I started building my ideas while I was touring. So once I actually finished with the band after 7 years as a solo artist, then I started developing my own creativity, my own music, my own fashion ideas and so forth. So
what I want to do, we're going to talk about Galliano and Incognito and Giles Peterson. So if for nobody that doesn't understand who those people are, they used to be they're sort of DJs that are familiar with sort of jazz music, and they played it on a wide range, and they played it all over London. I know you was part of that scene. before you went off into your own direction.
Yeah.
So what I want to know, now you've gone off into your own direction, yeah, how good does it feel now you've created your own empire? Because Obedience is not a small label, it's quite a big label and it grows every day.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, well, I mean, you know, what it is, as I mentioned about my website earlier, yeah, what it is, you know, like when you've actually, like, first and foremost, Talking Loud, Giles Peterson's a DJ, and Incognito it's a band, yeah. So you know, so they had different artists on the label at the time. But getting back to Obedience Project, Set Code 927, do you know what? It's like all the plans that I planned out to actually become successful in my own world, and you know that made me happy. I've achieved putting a website together, which I've been developing for a long time. I've got a record label together. I've got a fashion range together, and you know, like many different things. So you know what I mean? So like basically, you know, got into like embroidery, like from my top, if you can see from my top. This is the Obedience Projects. This is about international slam on the UK, the website, and so forth. Yeah, so
my biggest question to you now, is where do you take us next?
Yeah. Where do I take? Well, that's a very good point. Well, at the moment, I can only take it one day at a time, and I've got 3 albums. The first album is Grand Marseille. The second album is Snake and the Obedience Project, and the third one is Reality Strikes. Now I'm working on the fourth one, which is called Sadie's Genetics.
So let me stop you there.
Yeah.
So me being one of your artists on the Obedience Project,
Yeah.
I'm quite mad with you now because I was supposed to be invited on one of your projects, and because I kept flying out and going away and doing necessary things with my girlfriend, I've actually missed out that. But I can assure you that I would like to be invited on to the next LP that you do, which sounds exciting as well. This is Reese, Super Blogger, signing off. We're talking about, when we talk about history and we talk about vintage and we talk about retro, we talk about Michael Snaith and we talk about obedience. This is a Super Blogger Reese from London. Stay tuned, there's more to come.